I have a little tutorial here on combining two images for your interiors. So I've shot an exterior image. Well, I've shot from inside, but I'm exposing for the outside, so the inside is going to be dark. So what I've done is I've got a flash and pointed it straight at my window. Now I'm not aiming to get a reflection on the window, but I'm aiming to make the exterior of the window frame really bright compared to how it is in an ambient frame. The second frame is an ambient frame with a little bit of bounced flash behind me. So I've opened up the shutter speed to allow more natural light in, and then the bounce flash is basically matching that. So it's just filling in the shadows, but it still looks really natural. So this is a tutorial on how to combine the two images together so you can get a natural looking exterior in your window along with a nice ambient lit interior. So it's a trick I use sometimes depending on what my client needs. Sometimes the client doesn't want to see the exterior, they're happy to have the windows blow out, but this is a way of getting the window information back if you need it. So I've shot two images, architectural images. This is the one where I've bounced the flash behind me and I've added it to an exposure for the room. So it's a mixture of natural light and bounced flash. And then here's one where I've taken the flash at full power. I've aimed it towards the window, but in such a way that I'm not reflecting in the window. Now obviously it's reflecting some of the room behind me, and there's nothing I can do about for that particular situation. If I had more time, I would have probably been a little bit more careful. But in this case I was just shooting for an example, so I'm going to show you that. So the very first thing I actually need to do here is I need to go into develop and fix my verticals and stuff are off a little bit. And I'm going to turn on auto sync by clicking that button. So what I do basically gets matched in the two images because I need them to be exactly the same. So I'm going to do here is I'm going to come along here. I'm actually going to press Z to zoom in because it's, even though you have this little guide for the guided upright, so I've clicked on guided upright here in transform. When you zoom in, it's actually easier to do anyway. So I'm just going to drag the line along there and then just move along here. And so we can see that you can actually see the line as it goes. It's not too far off, but I'm still going to be a little bit more precise with it here. So I'll grab it and drop it back in again. And I'm watching where the line is pointing. So that's pretty good to me. So now down to the bottom. And I'm actually just going to use one of these floorboards here. They may not be exactly straight, but it'll be close enough for what we need here. Again, drag along there. And then just move along here on the navigator to line it up a little bit better. Okay, so that should be close enough. So that will have automatically done the fix there now as well as we've been working. It just needs the two top and bottom. And we can see here that sync is on here. So I'm going to press Z to zoom out and have a quick look. And I'm not 100% sure about the top, so I'm just going to zoom into the top area here. Here. Yeah, that looks okay. And I'm going to press here, or I'm going to go to view. I usually use the shortcut for loop overlay, so I'm just going to click show, which will show a grid. And I can see that's just going off the grid slightly there, so I'm just going to pull this down a tiny bit. Now it's not 100%, but it's close enough for what I want here. I'm just going to press I think it's Command Option O, yeah, which will be Control Alt O if you're on the PC. So I'm going to zoom out again. That's close enough for what I need from this. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Editing, and go Open as Layers in Photoshop. So it's now opening both of these on top of each other in a single document. Now I've done nothing else to the file. Potentially I might do other stuff to the file if I was working away, but they're good enough for starting. So take a couple of seconds for these to load into Photoshop and then create separate layers. Right, so the two layers have loaded, and all I want from this one here is just what's in the window. Okay, so because I flashed the window, it means that these are quite bright. That whole area there is quite bright compared to what's underneath there. So what I'm going to say is have anything darker show through by switching to darker mode. So in darken mode, literally anything that's darker is all that shows. Right, so we can see we've got this line here from where the edge of the flash was. If I go back to normal, you'll see straight away that's where that line is, where the flash has started to fade away, and that's where it becomes darker, so it starts to show. but I don't need all of that, and around the window is a little bit darker. So if we turn it on and off, you can see where it's affecting. So obviously the frame itself is darker, so I don't want all of that to show. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key or the Option key, and I'm going to click on the Add Layer Mask. And what's going to do is that it's going to hide everything that's underneath there. So now very quickly I just press B for brush and make sure the brush is white, so it'll show through what's underneath or what's on the layer away from the black bit. And now I'm just going to paint through, and it's just literally going to paint the, so you can start to paint. Now I could actually be deliberately clumsy a little bit there, so, and paint through all of that if I wanted to make it look kind of natural. So, and I've got too much on the outside edge, so what I can do is I just click X, that'll swap, and I'm just going to make it very, very, very big and soft. So I'm just going to catch it with the soft edge. Alright, so that's too much now. Again, I can just go back and repaint it, so I just want to get it off there. I don't even have to have it there. In fact, it might look better without it, so let me just get it off that section altogether. So now I'm going to make it much harder. And actually I'm going to make it harder again so I can see right in there. So I'm literally just trying to get inside the window for now. Now the thing about this is that it's probably just a little bit bright for the exterior compared to the interior, and we're going to fix that in a second as I make my concentration voice. So we can see that that looks good through there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an adjustment layer, a curves adjustment layer. And then by holding down the Alt or Option key between the two layers here, we can see the cursor is going to change shape. That's to a clipping mask. So I didn't clip there, clip it. So the little arrow sees that this is dependent on this, it's linked to that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the curves part. And it's literally going to pull up the curves. We can see that lightens it. So that makes it a little bit more natural, a little bit more balanced with what's underneath there. Okay. So that is, now it's taken me way, way longer here to talk about what I'm doing than it's taken to actually do it. It would actually be way, way quicker in practice. And I'm just going to go back, and there's a little bit there that I see. I just need to get onto that edge there, making that a bit blacker. That's it. So yeah, that looks great. So if I turn this off, you can do a comparison. So you get the outside view back into the shot there then. So that is how you would get the exterior in. The trick now is remember that you have to have lots of power from your flash onto the window, but you don't want reflections because the reflections will show when you mask it back out again. So that's how to get your exterior visible.